No Means No Podcast, episode number 5. How we doing today, boys? And we're just going to smoothly roll into this intro with no introductions or interruptions. How's everybody doing?
Good. Doing amazing.
God,
great.
You guys look amazing this week.
I think this week we actually, like, all three of us might be looking our best.
We might be. This might be the sexy week of the podcast with no Dommy, sadly. He's out of town.
Yeah. I gotta up my hair game, dude. Like, I'm looking at you.
Look at Zach and I's long hair.
The luscious locks.
Guys, I've been thinking about just buzzing it.
Really?
It's been like crossing my mind.
It'd be kind of fun.
I'm imagining it right now, and you're one of the guys that it like wouldn't look bad on.
Right. Like, I mean, you kind of like picture it, right? I just have such a, I don't know.
It really does make like I get that even when I pull my hair back and I look at my forehead, I'm like, oh God. I'm like, look at my, my face right now. But it's like, it's just how it is.
Yeah, it could be sick if you were bald.
No, I would probably go with like the circle beard. I'd bring it back.
Very Walter White.
That would be pretty hard.
It's basically Walter White.
Yeah. So, boys, what have we been up to this week since I last spoke with you?
Well, you last spoke on the podcast or last spoke?
Yeah, last time I talked to you, the podcast last week.
Oh, yeah. Well, since the last podcast, I put in my notice at my job. So that's a pretty big deal.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So talk to me about the conversation.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I sat down and I was nervous and I was almost positive how I was going to go. I was like, look, I could drop this notice on you 2 weeks ahead of me leaving. And I don't want to do that to you and your business. And I'm taking a little bit of a risk by coming out and saying this so far in advance because I'm not actually done until May 11th. And I softened it up. I did my thing. And it was no big deal. And she was fine with it. And I mean, she doesn't have a choice but to be fine with it. Like, it just is what it is. And she's gonna hire somebody else and have me train them probably. But the fun part has been we haven't really told anybody in the company yet. She's only told their parents. Oh, who's that?
No, we're on the podcast right now.
Oh, Sophia.
Oh, hi.
What's up, So?
You have cool nails.
Says what's up.
Gosh, when are you coming to visit?
April 16th.
April 16th.
So
16th. I'm getting my hair done the 15th.
So her hair will be ready.
This'll never do.
Thank goodness.
Period. Where's the other one?
Dommy, he's out of town.
The other one.
This is just Zach's other account here.
Dommy got me fucked up. Because why is he not?
He's out of town.
Dude, Dommy's on some bullshit.
He is. I wish Sophia could hear us.
Oh, she can't hear us. Oh,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah,
Zach says he wishes he could hear us.
Well, Lucas, your house looks killer. The new house.
It does.
It is
looks
killer.
nice.
It's nice. Oh, there's Chungus.
Oh God, we gotta get a shot of
He's so
Chungus.
fat.
Dude, he's huge.
Oh yes.
God.
Look how big he is.
Oh, dude. Man, I need to picture Dan with Chungy. Do you have one of those for me?
Oh, I mean, not with his new facial hair.
Dan is
But
just...
dude, Chungus literally like would wait at the door when Dan would go to the gym. He would like stand and look at the door, like, like when's he coming back? I'm waiting for him.
My hero. When is my
And
hero?
then Dan comes
returning?
back, sits on the couch, and Chungus walks up to him and goes, and just like falls over on his chest.
Holy shit.
So there are some good photos out there of Dan and Chungus.
Why has Dan not posted the picture of him and Taco on the social medias yet? Because I need to get that on the socials.
He sent the one that I sent you guys yesterday without Taco to a couple of his friends, but I don't think he's gonna do we could try and take a slightly more like nicer one and like switch his profile picture to it for a little bit.
Dude, I seriously think Dan could get like modeling gigs and stuff. Like I'm dead ass. I mean, why couldn't he be like the most interesting man in the world, Heineken? You know, like
Honestly, like
funny.
especially with that facial hair, man, it's crazy.
God,
That would be pretty hilarious.
For the many viewers out there who don't know, I mean, they've probably seen Double D before, but
The thousands.
the mustache is now just a mustache and a beard. There's no more full beard. It's
Yeah,
just the
pull up the
chin.
picture on your phone and show it.
Do you think it'll work?
Yeah.
yeah, I showed that one picture of our basketball player, and it showed up good.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Oh God, it's so
yeah.
sexy.
A lot of glare coming in, but there you can see the stash.
Yeah, dude. He looks sick.
That's
Yeah, tell
so
him to get
awesome,
that
man.
shirt off him though. Let me buy him an Empire shirt.
Yeah, it's Zach's Rise of Skywalker shirt. We got it before it came out, and Zach was, obviously devastated by how terrible it was.
It's just such an awful movie. I had to leave the shirt behind.
Okay, so this makes me think. Me and Sean were talking the other day about favorite Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And how mine is Return of the Jedi. And then Sean was saying his. So let's go through. What do we want to say? What do you guys think? Should we say just first our favorite one?
Yeah.
I'm thinking top three.
Or do we want to make a No Means No podcast official Star Wars ranking list?
Dude, we might have to. Let me pull them up.
Pull up every movie
pull
and
'em
let's
up and
make
let's have a look.
an official rank, and we'll discuss.
All right. Because I got my rankings, and there's definitely some controversy in there for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if mine is super. I mean, I know that my number one is not what most people would say, but I think a lot of people would.
Actually, in retrospect, I don't think my list is that crazy. Colin's
pretty normal.
insanity.
Oh yeah, if Colin was here, we wouldn't get anywhere.
Yeah, Colin's got what? Attack of the Clones at the
At
best?
number one for sure. And Luke would have Phantom Menace at number one. And I gotta say, about a year ago, I think spring break maybe, Lexi and I watched through the original 4, 5, and 6. And then we try, and she liked them. They're simple, they're straightforward, kind of like a, not like insanely action packed, but they're pretty straightforward. They tell a good story. And then we start Phantom Menace, and it's just 40 minutes of straight up like crazy nonsense. I haven't seen it like as an adult. I don't think I've ever watched those. I've watched Revenge of the Sith, which is actually good, but the first two, I hadn't really watched them as an adult person. And so the first 40 minutes of this movie, I'm like, who wrote this, man? What is going on right now? They're like underwater, like getting chased by giant fish and stuff. And you're like, the whole time you're like, what is their mission right now? They keep talking about it, but I'm still confused.
I couldn't tell you what it is right now off the top of my head. Like what they were doing in the first half
like
of
a long time in the movie. You're like,
but hey, think about the Darth Maul fight. Just think about it.
Right. See, that's the thing, is that then it's like, oh, it's Star Wars, so it's still like super awesome.
Let's see. What were Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon doing?
Like, it was something to do with Padme. Like, I don't know.
It was something political. I know that they were like sent to like make a treaty or like something. And there's all the Gungans. They're all running around like, meet the Gungan.
Nobody knows what they were doing.
Nobody knows what they're doing. So we're not crazy.
No. People know. I'm just like, the first Google result is not the answer.
Oh, did you just
What just happened? Did you just have a mini stroke?
I did. I like fiddling with stuff, and I was just, the thing I was fiddling with dropped, and I just freaking headbutt.
did you just headbutt your microphone?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty funny on camera, I think. Oh,
God, this show's gonna have like a curse, man. Like my camera falling, Sean headbutting something.
Yeah. What's next?
Who knows?
I could get shot. I mean, I'm like literally. Dude, somebody fucking died out here like a month ago, right under my window.
Yeah, dude, and we can hear all of it if we're on with you, man. Like,
Well, you could. I mean, you could see it.
But you got paper walls in there, man.
Oh yeah, the fire trucks are crazy. I hope one comes by sometime. Well, I don't. Okay, I hope a non-lethal one comes by. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, something that's like, I don't
Like a
know, something
microwave
lame.
instant. Yeah.
Like a classic orphanage lights on fire. You know, no big deal.
Did I tell you guys about when I almost burned my childhood home down with the macaroni and cheese?
I feel like I've heard this story. Yeah.
I mean, like Home Alone, just like was cooking up one of those mac and cheese in a cups, just
Mhm.
didn't put any water in it, and I put it in the I mean, literally the only thing you have to do for those things,
Put a little water in.
and I just tossed it in the microwave, went upstairs and was doing something else, and I think it was a 3-minute 30-second situation, and I was gone for at least like 10 minutes. And I came back downstairs, and there's smoke everywhere, and the big old charred thing in the microwave. And
Wow.
Mom was not happy when she came home. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I assume not. All right, so back to Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
So my number one, we were talking about it the other night, is Return of the Jedi. And Sean and Zach, I'm assuming your guys is 5, right? Is that where you
Mine
put
is,
it number one?
Yeah. I know it's so basic, but yeah. Zach, I'm curious. Could you do a little research real quick into one of those? There's like those websites where you can rank the movies.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun if you screen shared that.
I would love to, but I don't have the screen share set up right now.
That's tough.
Next time, but yeah, I like Empire the best. I just can't so Lucas, that feeling you have with the Gungans, that's the feeling I kind of get with the Ewoks too. It's not as severe, but it's the same type of feeling, and it's like when I was a kid, that was my favorite one, like by far, because I love the green lightsaber and the dark get up by Luke.
Yeah.
But I just 5 is just like start to finish, just like an amazing movie.
I agree. There's a little bit of the Ewoks are a silly creature, but it's also like super Star Wars to me. It's like, that's just what Star Wars is. There's all these weird characters and stuff, and like, it doesn't bother me too much. And the real thing that gets me, first of all, it's seeing Luke wearing all black and using a green lightsaber, right? Like, first green lightsaber ever to be shown on screen. First time they ever changed the color from blue or red. And Luke just looks so sick, right? And it's just exactly like how I imagine myself as a Jedi. And then just the way that George Lucas decided to culminate the whole plot together in the end, I feel like was just perfect. And 6 was the one where he had that genius, It feels like 5 to me, like, obviously Empire's a really, really good movie, but to me it's still like the middle movie where they're setting up 6 almost. And so it's like at the end he has this huge fight with Vader where Vader's trying to make him angry, and he gets angry and he comes, he's swinging super hard and he's trying to get him to turn to the dark side, and he's pounding the lightsaber, and he almost kills him. He cuts his hand off, and then he decides to stop, and he doesn't kill him, right? Because that's Luke's character. And then in the end, Luke's, goodness ends up turning Darth Vader back, his dad back, and he throws Palpatine into the pit, and it's all just like perfect with how the characters have been building throughout the first 2 movies. And then it was the scene at the end where he's like, no, I can't leave you. I'm gonna take you with. I'm gonna save you. And Darth Vader's like, you already have. And you're just like, yeah, there we go. Whole movie, the balance is restored. Everything is brought to perfect. And then Disney comes along.
I will say I like even got chills just like remembering that, and like even thinking about like how I know the prequels weren't perfect or anything, but like if you watch the movies like 1 to 6, like that redemption arc is insanity, and it's so awesome. It's like literally the best story ever in film, in my opinion, is the story of Anakin Skywalker. So yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying.
Tragedy of Lord Vader. I think as a story, my favorite is episode 4, but in practicality, it's a little slow moving, but
it is slow,
but the hero's journey aspect of it is super compelling. And I think it's Han Solo's best movie, maybe, episode 4. Like just like hilarious, like the exact character that you want to see. And he's my favorite character by far. He's just so funny. Like he's a badass, and you get the sense that he can do anything, but he never has a plan on how he's going to do anything. He's just falling ass backwards into victory after victory. And that's part of the charm of it. But just like some of the lines where, you know, just he's talking on the radio on the Death Star with like, do we have a problem on that floor? He's like, no, we're fine here now. Everything's fine. How are you? Like, there's such good lines. Like, oh, I didn't think of that, your worship. Talking to Leia. Super funny stuff. And I love that movie. So maybe that one for me. I agree that 5 is probably objectively the best. In terms of like pacing and set design and characters evolving and stuff, but it is still, like Lucas said, a middle piece, so there's still something to be there's still, you're sort of waiting for something to happen. It feels like the conclusion to it is not a conclusion, more just a weird pause. But yeah, it's a good movie. I like all 3 of the originals a lot.
I agree. I like them a lot. And it goes back to that, like, it's kind of the same feeling I got when I watched Top Gun Maverick when it came out just recently. I was like, you know what that was? It was a straightforward plot, not convoluted. It doesn't have all this, like, these weird side things going on. It's not that hard to follow. But it was really fun to watch. It was, you know, it engaged with all of these different conflicts and all this different stuff. And it was really cool action movie, good character development throughout. And it was just kind of like a simple, fun to watch type of action movie. And that's what those originals remind me more of versus what you get in the newer Star Wars ones, where it's like, and especially with the Disney ones, where it's like, I'm not exactly, like, I don't even really remember what the main idea of this like progression they were going on was.
To get to Exegol.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
You must first locate a Sith Wayfinder. Okay, where do I get one of those? To locate a Sith Wayfinder, you must first find the magical dagger of Gandar. Okay, who has that? I gave it to Ochi. Who the hell is Ochi? Ochi is the bounty hunter I hired to assassinate my granddaughter's parents. And why did you give it to him? I don't know. That's like just sums up Palpatine's whole plan in those movies so perfectly, is those 4 lines. And it ends with like, okay, you could tell it's the creators of South Park said, if your story goes, a character did this, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, that's a bad story. It should never say, and then this happens. It should always say, because of that, therefore this happens, therefore this happens. It should always be, what just happened means that necessarily this next thing must happen, not this happened and then this happened and then this happened, which is like what you get a bit from the Star Wars things. It's like, why did he give the dagger of Gandar to some random guy? It's so unnecessary for Palpatine's character. You know, why does Palpatine return? What does that bring to the story? It's just so obvious that this was a money-making thing. This was not there was no care taken to the writing process. There was no caretaking. It was fan service and profiting. And it sucks because it just is one of the best stories ever, and you had to ruin it. You just had to make money.
I forced myself to watch those 3 again, and I went into it, and this was like 2 or 3 months ago. I went into it with like a relatively open mind. Like, you know what? Like maybe it's like a prequel. So a lot of people didn't like the prequels. Maybe it'll grow on me a teeny bit, even just like a marginally. And it made it so much fucking worse sitting there and watching these movies over again. I cannot believe how bad of a movie The Last Jedi is. Like, it is
Yes.
absurd to me. Me and Bailey, for those of the listeners who don't know, one of my former college roommates, we sat in our living room watching The Last Jedi, and it took us almost 4 hours to get through it because we had to keep pausing because we got so fucking mad at everything that happened in the movie that we had to complain about it. Like, there are this conversation makes me think of, I have two things that will immediately eliminate the potential for dating a female. One is if they like any of those three movies, or if they say, I like the last trilogy, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. Like, that's just like such a character flaw. Like, there's just no
Because
way.
first of all, it's weird to have to like finding a chick that has an opinion on Star Wars is almost a red flag. It's almost like you must be weird. You must be a little off.
Well,
and then
there's-
second of all, having that opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only other thing would be if they're a severely picky eater, because that also flows into literally everything.
What if they were sexy though?
Like really, really sexy.
Well, here's the problem, right? Is
Like
like
if
you
Kate
could try to
Upton really
convince me
was
like,
stoked
oh, everything
on The
else about
Last
them is
Jedi.
good. They're really sexy, but they really like The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no the problem is like my wife, right? Like if I'm gonna wife somebody, I'm saying, okay, there's no way that that person likes The Last Jedi and is perfect otherwise. There's no chance.
Okay.
And there's
Something of
also
a
no chance.
postulate.
There's also no chance that that person is insanely picky about food and is perfect in every other way. I refuse to believe otherwise from those two things.
Something of a you're making something of a code here.
Ben and Jerry
Yeah.
sponsor us.
Dude, that looks so good.
They're gonna sponsor us next week. I had a good feeling about it.
How was that ice cream? Was it good?
I'm still working on it, but it's good so far. It's
Okay,
good.
there we go. Ben and Jerry's is good.
We got to get a list going of all of our potential sponsors.
So guys, I gotta tell you about. I was surfing Reddit today,
Great start.
and I was on the My Chemical Romance subreddit, and so I stumbled across this post that somebody put on here. Now, My Chemical Romance's fan base is like completely and utterly obsessed with LGBTQ stuff.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
they
totally.
love it. I mean, it's probably the most pervasive theme in the fan base is LGBTQ stuff. So some lady who I guess is like an Australian chick who really doesn't support the like trans or like the not trans but the what are they doing where the cross-dresser like book reading for children thing.
Yeah, people dressing up like cross-dressing hookers and then
Cross-dressing,
reading,
like reading books to kids
children.
or whatever. Just not a big supporter of it, and she's sort of outspoken about that on social media. Well, she snagged a picture with Gerard at the airport, and somebody found this and posted LGBTQ phobic MCR fan, one of Australia's quote right-wing nuts who claimed to be a long-standing fan, cornered Gerard at the airport. And it's like all she did was ask him for a photo, right? Let's make that perfectly clear at the airport, and he took a photo. And what's funny to me is all the comments on this are pretty hilarious. It says he'd be so disappointed to know after he so graciously gave his time to her. Things like this. And what occurred to me while I was reading this is that I don't think these people realize that most people on the planet who listen to My Chemical Romance don't give two shits and a dog fuck what they think about LGBTQ stuff. They just think the music sounds good. And
Yeah, I mean, like, who cares?
I took the
Like,
time, because I'm an idiot, I took the time to say, you realize My Chemical Romance probably has literally millions of right-wing fans. Probably millions. And the response to this was like, I had just insulted their very existence by telling them that truth. I don't think they can separate themselves from politics. It's like they've become a politic. Like they're walking true. So like the response, just one more second. The responses were literally like, no, I didn't know that. And I don't understand it. That doesn't make sense. And I was like, is My Chemical Romance to you literally the antithesis to right wing?
Right.
Because
Yeah,
in
like,
what way? They wrote a record about a fucking record about a guy killing 1,000 evil men. They wrote a record about a guy with cancer, and they wrote a comic book record, granted, about dismantling establishment. But other than that, I don't understand how you can look at this band and go, hey, they are LGBTQ, basically, is what you're saying. And they are far left wing. They're completely politically far left. And if you're far right, you can't possibly listen to them. It blows my mind. Rant over. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I'll tell you, like, I don't think that for the most part, music, I mean, I feel like everybody should just be able to enjoy music and not to think too much about it. Like, I don't care what your views are about, obviously, like if you're like a psychopath or something, then maybe they should say a comment about Gerard taking a picture with you and like that type of thing. But I mean, if you had differing political views, you can still like the same music. And, you know, Zach, you said something about like, you don't think they can separate politics from their life. And one thing that I think I've noticed a little bit with at least some people in college that I've met, like some people that are on that like far left side, like they so truly believe in what they think. And I'm not even saying like right or wrong, but it's like it's directly tied to their morality, I feel like. And so if you insult their politics, you're also insulting their morality. And like they genuinely believe in what they're saying is that it's the right thing for society, for humanity, for all that stuff. And so if you go against that, you are the enemy, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like for like far right, even I feel like it's not quite like that. Like it's much more separated from that morality, emotional side. I could be, you know, wrong, but that's just something I've noticed a little bit.
I think, yeah, far right tends to be racist. Like if you're just looking at America, not far right, but far right in America, which is a small group of people that I think if you took a poll, you would that of the left would say that probably 75 to 90% of conservatives are far right. When in reality, I think it's probably less than 1% by a lot. I think they tend to be racist. They tend to be very, very small government and leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. And I don't know.
It's really weird that, like, to me, just the whole idea that like you say small government and like racist and far right and far left, but it's like the Republican and Democrat parties in America in the last, literally, we've just witnessed it in the last probably, I don't know, 15 years, they literally flipped opinions. Like a full 360 degree flip from one to the other side, 180. And now it's like all of a sudden it would be the Republicans who are supporting government, leave me alone, let us do what we want. Like I am literally a 1960s hippie right now.
Right.
And I'm a far right, you know, like according to the current political spectrum, I'm a hippie from the 1960s. I want to be able to do what I want. I want the government to leave me alone. I don't want them getting involved in my business. I think people should be free to do what they want. I think that like all of this stuff that is just now the complete opposite of what the Democrat Party believes. And so I just think it's so weird that it's like, where does it really matter, you know? And so these people that can't even view, they can't even logically make sense of the fact that like there's millions of people that love My Chemical Romance that don't think like they do, and for some reason and they're just so loud about it. You know, it's like you realize it's like what Ronnie was saying on Twitter the other day. He's like, look, man, the fact is we're talking about less than 2% of the people that show up to my shows most likely, you know? there's still going to be tons of like I'm not even trying to disrespect LGBTQ fans out there. I'm just saying I don't personally support most of the things that you guys support. And if you know, like if you don't want to listen to my music, that's fine. But here on Twitter, you're a lot louder and bigger than you are in person at the shows, you know?
Yeah, I just thought it was strange. It's like, how many people do you think literally just think that set of notes, I'm not okay, is super catchy?
Yeah,
Right.
That's the only thought they ever had. The only thought they ever had about My Chemical Romance is, hey, those are some catchy notes. It's like, that's got to be most people.
Think about me
as
a My Chem listener. Like, I mean, it's literally me. Like,
Yeah, it's you.
I know, like, you know, 6 My Chem songs, maybe 7. You know, I've heard their albums once or twice as a collective all at one time. Like, I couldn't give a shit about any of that stuff. So
This makes me think of something I just saw on the news today. It's like the exact same situation to me. The Chicago Blackhawks have made the decision to not wear the pride jerseys that the super loud left-wing media has been forcing hockey teams to wear. And the Blackhawks said, we're not going to go out and wear the pride jerseys. We're just going to, you know, this is a blue collar hockey team. You know, it's like, we're not this. And it's not that. It's the same situation we were talking about. It's what the hell does this have to do with hockey?
Yeah.
I am a hockey player. No matter what I believe, I should be going out there in my hockey jersey playing hockey. I shouldn't be, whether it's a right wing or a left wing or a LGBTQ or I don't know, whatever jersey you want to put on me, it shouldn't be happening. This has nothing to do with hockey. And so why is the opinion of this really small group that has every right that every other group in America has? Why are we forcing hockey teams to wear these jerseys? And like, you know, there was a Russian guy who didn't wear it and the rest of the team goes out there in them, and then he, you know, because of beliefs, because of whatever, he doesn't wear it. And he's getting like just so much hate from hockey. They're telling him they need to fire him and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, this guy just plays hockey. It's like permeating throughout all of our culture.
I still think it has to do with that morality side of it. It's like, if you think about, like, and whether this is like some sort of thing that's developed over the last several years, I don't know, but you think about like acceptance, like as a word, and like that has a much more positive connotation than anything that goes against it. And it's more linked with like love and kindness and those types of words. And it's like, you know, from a left winger side, it's like, wear these jerseys, we're trying to be accepting of everybody and kind and love everybody. And if you say no, like, what do you mean no? Like, we're just trying to be nice and kind and loving, and then it turns into the whole spiral, right? And that's just kind of how I see it. 'Cause it's like, as I was trying to think just now of like an alternative of like what a right winger, hockey jersey would look like, and none of like the ideas that came to mind were anything kind. Like, it was all like, you know, anti-trans jersey, like try to, or whatever. And
Weirdly
like
enough, it would be something like a police officer jersey.
that is funny. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, yeah, that's true. But
Which they're not doing.
Which no one's trying to get
Nobody
anyone to wear.
wants them to do that.
yeah, and the whole point for me too is like, you shouldn't be forced to do anything, period. You shouldn't have to wear a jersey if you don't want to wear the jersey, and you shouldn't get ridiculed for it if you decide not to.
Especially because it's a divisive topic and this is a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't act like it's all because we're accepting and loving and everything when you know that it's a divisive topic, when you know that there is more involved in it than you claim, right? You're trying to be accepting of everyone and all this thing, but there is like we've talked about before on the podcast, there is a totally different viewpoint that believes that there is a better way to go about being accepting of these people, right? Not to affirm the way that they feel necessarily, but to recognize that you know, the way they feel is potentially harmful to them, and that there's counseling, and that there's steps that they can go through in the healthy way to determine what life path they need to take, you know? And so it's like, there's people out there that believe that there's a different, better way to help these people than just saying, yep, you're exactly right the way you are, exactly what you think is right. You have no problems whatsoever, and we're supporting you, and we'll, you know, do whatever, you know? It's like, you wouldn't say that to a guy that, you know, really thinks that he needs to be a paraplegic, would you? You'd be like, whoa, man, why do you want your arms and legs cut off? We should probably sit down and do some counseling and kind of figure out, you know, like what your future should look like and kind of why you're feeling these ways. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on in your head and what we can do for you, you know? And it's not like, wear the jersey, you know, so that this guy can become a paraplegic.
And the thing that this always makes me think of is like, the correct answer is like somewhere in the middle of like the paraplegic and the, like, you know, because like I should be allowed to do some things, right, in theory. And like, so it's like that the whole reason that politics exists is there's somewhere in there's that gray area. So there has to be a back and forward going, trying to figure out where as a society that is. And like, to me, I like that, and I think it's cool, but like nobody else cares. Like everybody else is like, it's either my way or that way or no other way, you know?
Yeah, and it's so good that it's like that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then they start getting it into hockey.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not where it belongs.
Yeah. Well, it's where it belongs if you're trying to push your narrative.
Exactly. If you don't care about the dynamic that we all care about of pushing back and forth, and of realizing that maybe there is something to what they're saying. A lot of people, most people that aren't just like rich politicians seeking more money, are trying to do what's best for people, right? You got to recognize that a lot of people are trying to do what's best for people, and maybe they do have a point, but maybe I have a point too, and we can work together to see what is really the best thing to do for this person, right? And so it's like, but the people that don't care about that, the people that just care about my way is the way, and I'm going to push the narrative, are the ones that get it involved in hockey.
Yeah,
Blackhawks are saying, hell no.
Everything you just said is just like should be gospel, but you know, I like the conversation is the only important thing. Every person I've ever had a conversation with that I've disagreed with, it's been so nice because I know that they have the right intentions, and I also have the right intentions. And like, just if you can have those two facts going into a conversation, it makes it so pleasant.
That really is the key.
The problem is
like,
so
nobody cares about that anymore.
so many people, and where a lot of this stuff comes from is people who are resentful towards the world for something. And they fester that resentfulness and let it build over the course of a couple of years. And then they spread it like a disease. They say, look at this. Look what happened to me because I was blank, fill in the blank, because I was poor. Look what happened to me because I was poor. And you're poor. And don't you think that shit's fucked up that happened to me because I was poor? And if I say I'm poor and I hear that, I'm like, how many times do I have to hear that before I start to think it myself, like I came up with it? And so that's how this, like, you can't let this hatred for anything build up inside you, because you become resentful towards the world. And once that happens, man, you're in trouble, because life's not going to get better, for one. It can only get worse by holding that resentfulness. And two, you're going to spread it to other people and make other people really resentful too. And the other thing to keep in mind is, in general, I think we should look at people as individuals. Like, for example, you could say, black people have had a pretty rough time in history. It's like, no, some black people have, some haven't. Maybe the majority of them have, but I don't know why you're looking at black people as a whole rather than looking at individuals who are living their lives and what things that they had to go through. I'm sure there are plenty of gay people who had a much better life than I've had so far. I'm sure there are plenty who haven't. It's like, stop conflating people. Each person's an individual. It can't always be helpful to look at. It can be helpful to look at groups, but I think that we do it far too much now. Far too much.
We look at groups and we look at them specifically as groups who have been in conflict with each other. It's always, how have these different groups of people conflicted with each other throughout all of history? How have they made each other's lives worse? It's never anything positive that we do with group study.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, like, in theory, looking at trends is important in some capacity, but I totally agree with you that there's no focus put on the individuals anymore. And it's like, you are this, so this, which is not how it should be ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you become a victim of the mentality he was talking about, and then then you make other people into victims of it, right? And so now everything that, first you hear about this resentment, and then you start to feel the resentment about the world and the things that you don't have. You become ungrateful first, right? First you become ungrateful for what you have. Then you start to feel like everything that's going wrong in the world is you're somehow a victim of it, and you're not, you're not able to change any of it, right? And then you start to spread this out to other people, and now all of a sudden everyone that you talk to is either feeling that you are always feeling like you're a victim to your surroundings, and that they should feel that way too, right?
Mm-hmm. Here's a good example of why it can be a bad thing to look at trends, right? So if you were to, this is true, men are more aggressive than women, right? Mm-hmm. If you took 10 aggressive people, about 6 of them would be men and 4 of them would be women, just out of random. Mm-hmm. So doesn't that mean that we're all more similar than we are different? If you say, saying men are more aggressive than women doesn't really tell you the story. Right. It just tells you that's sort of a blanket statement. But when you look into it and you're like, oh yeah, only marginally is that true. Mm-hmm. That's where it becomes more helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so framing is really easy to do. You can take all sorts of data and frame it. And then frame it to look exactly how you want it. I mean, you can even, I've seen, there were some examples of this in my psychology class where he's talking about different charts and stuff, and they show a chart where everything appears to be like really different, right? It's a bar graph, and like one's down here, one's way up at the top, and they're all like way off from each other. But then he's like, but if I zoom out and you take a look, you'll see that like what I had was a chopped off top of the chart, and they're all actually like marginally different at the very top. So it's like you can take numbers and do that.
I have a great example of this. So, as one of my KPIs for my job is how's traffic, right? I'm the marketer. How's traffic doing? And I had to catch myself and like do a little self-reflection the other day because, for example, our business's traffic is up year to date, right? And that's a great sentence to be able to say as a marketer. I'm very proud to say that. But there is so much more that goes into it than that. Like, for example, is Ashley Corporate's traffic up or not? Because if Ashley as a company's traffic's up and mine's not up more than theirs is up, then mine's down. Like really, right? So and the other thing too. So Ashley Corporate's traffic's actually down, which is good for me and me being able to say that my traffic's up, right? But so you start there, right? Okay, my traffic now. Let me break it down a little bit. My traffic is up about 3% year to date, year over year, right? Smaller number, it's not very significant, but that's still a good number, and I can make a case for it against Ashley Corporate's traffic being down like 8%, right? Now let me say this. March to date traffic is down 20% year over year, and January and February's traffic was up like 24% or something year over year, right? And when you think of it like that, it's like, well, am I doing a good job? I mean, traffic's trending downward, and it's just you can just do that shit all the time. But so I don't say, hey, March traffic is down 20% this month, right? I say, hey, Sean, how's marketing going? Yeah, year to date we're up 4%. In traffic, corporate's down about 8%, so we're looking great. And that's all I say, and that's all I have to say. And it's like, wow, Sean's doing great. Don't have to think about it. And I said that in a meeting, and I was like, man, like that's kind of crazy that I did that. And it's like I had to kind of do a little self-reflection, and it's like, it made me think like the amount of people that can do shit like that all the time and just frame their own numbers, because I'm the one pulling the numbers. I'm the one counting the traffic from the thing. Like if nobody else sees it, You know, I can say whatever I want and they'll believe me because I'm the marketer. And it's like I didn't lie. None of those statements I said were lies. I didn't say a single lie. And it's all just framed.
And tell them everything you
checking
know.
Right. It's nuts, man. It's scary.
Yeah, nobody's following behind you. Double checking. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And there's
Leave
a
him
lot of
alone.
people that aren't getting followed behind.
Leave the guy alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. No, actually, no. Part of the reason I'm leaving this job is because I want a mentor.
Yeah.
I'm 22 and I've been my own boss for like 6 months. Like, I don't
Yeah.
it's not helping me. You know, like it's helped me with some things, but yeah.
The new Resident Evil game comes out tonight.
Ooh,
The Resident
you need
Evil
that?
4 remake. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and cop that bad boy.
Ooh, I need a stream of that for sure.
Oh, dude,
Oh yeah, we'll be
definitely.
watching. You got to beat Elden Ring first, though.
I know. It's a big deal. I'm on the last boss, Sean.
Dude, you better call me when you get. I got to see that my lady get felled.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
when he goes to Melania, that's right.
Yeah. It's my
Can you beat the game and then still run around?
I don't know.
probably right. I mean,
You can do
It'd
New
be
Game
kind of whack if
Plus.
you couldn't.
yeah,
Yeah, you could do a new game plus. That's true.
that's true.
But,
That'll be fun though.
Yeah, that game looks good. I'm really excited to watch Eris stream it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I love streaming
Classic
for you
Eris.
guys. I got you.
Yeah, Sean. See, I think Sean looks like Eris of Live in the Puddle. I think he looks a lot like him, and he doesn't, but I think he does.
I mean, you cropped his face in there, and it was compelling.
It
I
is.
can't lie.
Okay, I will say the face crop maybe, you know,
You think about
hesitate
it.
a little bit.
You
It's
think
a
about
huge beard because it kind of covers a lot of the face, and so then it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
I mean, seriously, if I put on like, you know, if you actually think about if I put on like 70 pounds, I don't know how much Eris weighs, but maybe 70 pounds and had a full beard and like a hoodie up or something, I probably look kind of,
He probably looks
Yeah.
like Eris.
you know.
Speaking of pounds, Sean, the weight on the scale earlier this week.
Very
Oh,
hot.
yeah, God.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yes.
you. Appreciate it. I'm trying. I'm going for 160 now. So, you know,
Nice. What's your time frame on getting to 160?
it shows, and I was shocked. So like when I put it in onto my app, it showed me what date I would be at 170 if I followed this. And I was like, yeah, okay, you know, like sounds good. But it was within like 2 days. Like, so
Wow.
yeah, I know.
That's nice.
Like, you know. I mean, in fairness, I didn't have a cheat day. I you know, for 50 straight days, I've done the same thing. But this one shows like 2 days before my cruise, so like May 12th or something.
Oh, so you'd be looking fresh.
Well, so I still don't look good outside of clothes, but I feel a lot better in clothes. I'll work on the outside of clothes part later. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Oh no, you're gonna be
160.
looking sexy on the cruise deck on the beach, baby.
That's really funny though. That makes me think like all you put in was height and weight, right?
Yeah, height and well, and I mean, I record. It adjusts based on the day. It switches the date as I go, but yeah, height and weight
Okay.
from
And
day
then
one.
as you put in calories and stuff, that just makes me think like people are not as different as we like to make them think, you know?
Right?
It's like the machine is like, we can get it within a couple of days if you just give us your height and weight, and then we
And
kind of go with
age.
the calories as you go. Yeah, and age, of course.
Yeah, age, and it had a couple of other. It was like, are you active? Like scale of 1 to 10. How
Yeah,
active
yeah.
are you?
Is this like
That type of thing.
MyFitnessPal?
It's similar.
Lose it?
And I have my Fitbit hooked up to it, so it gets my steps too.
Mm.
But like it has, like, you know, I know that there's things, and you're a doctor. I know there's things like if you have more muscle. I like to say that.
You're a doctor, of course, so I'm sure
You
you're
know, More or
informed.
less, you're more of a doctor than me. You're than probably 99% of the population. You're more of a doctor than. if you think
That's
about it.
probably true. I mean, it's not a lot of people that.
So you're a doctor, and
So he's a doctor, yeah.
I've seen that if you're like more muscular, you burn calories faster. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like it doesn't know if I'm like chopped and you
That's
know,
Right.
traditionally
Like, there's no
that's
idea.
why that may be a bad what would you say, the you know, it may be a bad God, what am I trying to say? Maybe a bad way to tell how fat you are. Just your
Yeah, 'cause-
BMI, because it doesn't take into
Oh, yeah.
account you know, muscle.
Well, yeah. I mean, I for the first time ever weigh 184.
damn.
So like I am heavier than I've ever been, right? I spent a lot of my life at like 170, and then I get up to the like 177, 178, and now over the past 2-3 months, I've gained like 5 pounds of muscle.
So what, Lucas? You're 6'1", right?
Yeah, 6'1", 184. I'm probably still right in the middle of the BMI.
Yeah, you're still gonna be nice and fresh in that BMI.
If you're 0.7 away from being considered overweight.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, BMI is just kind of bullshit, honestly.
Because I feel like at 6'1", that wouldn't be the case.
If you were 190, you'd be considered overweight.
Wow.
That's insane, because I look thin still. Like when I wear when I wear clothing, you almost can't tell that I work out. Seriously, like you're like, look at that slender guy.
Well, Lucas, I'll tell you what. I bet you me and your BMIs are about the same right now. if that tells you anything.
You're right. That's probably true.
Like you put in 5'10", 170. I think it's probably exactly the same as Lucas's.
In general, though, I've seen like doctors' offices use it,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
the
feel
exact
like
same as
that's
Lucas's.
hilarious. So we have the same BMI. That's awesome.
Yeah. and me without clothes, as somebody who does not work out any muscles, like I play basketball and box, but I don't target any muscle groups. My body looks like crap.
Well, dude, it's so funny because BMI does work in a way, because in order to have like a serious invasive surgery, like in order to have like a hip surgery or something, you have to be under like 30 or something. They said it at the doctor's office, a specific BMI, and that works for most cases, right? It's like most people that go to the doctor and need a surgery and can't get it, it's actually because they're super fat, right? It's like you didn't meet the BMI because you were super fat, right?
Yeah.
And so most of the time it's helpful for like in the case of healthcare and doctors, but then sometimes it's like this situation where it's like we have completely different bodies, but we have the same BMI.
Well, I think that like kind of the usage of BMI like is more effective probably on fat people, if that makes sense. Like, I mean, at some point you can't have a 30 BMI and have like serious muscle, right? I mean,
Right.
Like I mean, how much more could you possibly weigh right now and still be fit? Like realistically, I mean, like 200.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, what's Collins? Like, what's
Without
Collins,
hopping
like
on-
220?
Collins, like, I don't know how tall
6'3"?
Collins is. But yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe 210, I think he is. I
210?
would guess. Yeah. I want to say he said 210.
Yeah, he's overweight.
Right. But like he can't get it. I mean, he can not get much thicker than he is right now.
Chili hops on steroids.
He was 220, right?
Yeah, he got up to 220
Yeah.
Collins?
Yeah.
back
Damn it.
a while ago.
That's pretty over. That's into overweight. That's in there.
Funny.
I mean, I think probably the best or a better indicator would be your body fat percentage. Because like mine is like probably 20% plus, and yours is probably like 12% or something. And
I think I did do one, and it was like 12 or 13 last time I did it. So
right, look at me, dude.
that was pretty close. One of the machines said it was 10, but I don't think it's 10. I think it's probably
and like
I'm probably like 14 right now.
I don't know, like I'm probably like 20 to 25% minimum, like, I think 30 was probably where I started, but, yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, I'll get lean first and then I'll work on the rest from there. But I just wanted to look better in clothes, and I like it's nice because I can buy a large shirt now. Like I couldn't buy a large shirt before.
Really?
Yeah. I was wearing XLs the last like 2 years or so.
Wow. Nice.
I'd still look fine in XL, but like a large used to be too small, and now it's fine. So it makes sense.
When you see the clothes change, that's nice.
Yep, but I don't have any large stuff anymore. So now I'm not gonna buy shit, but good thing.
Yeah. So Wings is fighting Boogie. Speaking
That's
of
right.
fat people.
Oh, when is that?
I think it's
Like,
in
speaking of fat
May.
people.
It's in May.
Right.
In May?
Dude, like mid-May. So it's
Can we have a watch party? Or can we have
Yes,
a
we need
watch
to.
party for that?
Yeah. So, Zach, you were saying that the setup has been pretty funny so far.
Oh, dude, it's been pretty hilarious.
I gotta keep up with it.
I gotta tune
Boogie
in.
has put up a few videos of him hitting a punching bag, and it's not It's not impressive. It's
Oh no,
not,
they're gonna gas fast.
it's not impressive. And Wings quote tweets it and says, "If another 2 minutes goes by, I think the punching bag's gonna win." And then Wings is on stream yesterday watching the clip. He goes, "I'm gonna be dead straight serious. If Boogie and I fought right now, it would be a KO within 1 minute."
Wow.
So Wings is extremely confident that he can beat Boogie in this
Dude,
fight, and I
neither of those
agree.
people could knock anybody.
Yeah, nobody's going to sleep in that fight.
No.
Like patty cake.
But I agree. I think Wings can win because Wings is much younger than Boogie. Wings is like 10 years younger than Boogie.
Wow.
I didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't know that by looking at him.
Yeah, let's see Boogie's age.
I would need to know. I
think Wings is 30
demographics of both
something.
before I made
Let's
a
see.
decision.
Yeah, Boogie's 48.
Damn, bro.
That is
Wing-
old.
Wings,
48.
yeah, Wings is 37, I believe.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
most doctors told Boogie he wasn't going to be alive right now. Oh, the camera.
Dude, not again.
Again, sponsor me if you'd like to help with my cam.
Don't
Shout
move.
out to Scepter.
Oh, shout out to Scepter. Is that his monitor? Shout out to Scepter's monitor.
This is all just a monitor sponsorship.
That was
setup.
actually an automated camera pan that I've created and designed to sponsor Scepter.
Shout out to our sponsor.
I'm
We
very
love your
excited to
monitors.
announce this, but yeah, no. So Wings was born in 86, which makes him how old?
Dude,
14 plus 23, 37.
yeah.
Excellent. So he'll be on April 21st. He'll be 37. So
Yeah, I got Wings. There's got to be a line on that somewhere.
Dude, the money line on that. So now, are they going with other YouTube boxers in
Yeah,
the same
they're-
night?
yeah, the KSI card.
KSI with Jake Paul? I don't know. Who is it?
He's back to Jake Paul.
I don't know. Well, he fought Logan, didn't he?
That's right. Some guy by the name of Joe Fournier. And
Fournier.
according to Wings, Fournier is a real boxer, so KSI is going to get his ass kicked. And
Yes.
Wings knows a lot about fighting, so we know that his opinion is welcome.
Of course.
He doesn't know anything about fighting. I would guess Wings has never been in a fight.
Yeah, that's a fair thing to say.
Let's go
mean,
ahead. Let's go to
he's huge.
Twitter.
I really want to try to box somebody, guys.
That'd be
Like,
fun.
Yeah, it's
Fucking
really
cool,
fun.
man. I'd get my ass kicked by anybody who knew what they're doing right now today. But like, it'd be so cool, man.
Well, but that's what sparring is, you know?
Right,
like,
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was this guy named Donnie at my gym who had just the longest arms, dude. And I was always a kicker and stuff. But when I would go against guys that were there for boxing, I would just box because it's kind of gay if I'm like,
yeah, that is,
I just keep kicking them in the gut, you know, like I just keep kicking them right in the gut and they're trying to get in. I'm just kicking them. And so it's like, this is dumb. I'm just going to box. And I would box this guy, Donnie, and he would just piece me up, dude. I mean,
Really?
he would piece me. Like his arms were so long, even his jab would hit me consistently. And I'm like, I'm trying to slip it, but he was solid. And he was the teacher for the boxing class.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the dude was fire. And I got way better by sparring him. And it wasn't like I was getting beat up, you know, it's
Yeah,
like
I
you're just
know.
getting hit and you're learning and you're getting better with your hands, which I needed. And so it's really, really fun. And it's really it's not bad. Like when you're both going in there just to spar and you're not, it's not a real fight. You're not like trying to knock them out. All it is fun and an insane workout.
my issue is like I'm still at the point where it's like if I hit a left hook a little too weird, my wrist starts hurting, or I'm just like imagining like trying to actually throw any punch at a real person, and it's like I just have a feeling I'm gonna get some weird injury and it's gonna piss me off. But
Yeah, so I got something here, Sham Boxing, which is the name of the organization, I guess,
Sounds like a sham.
possibly putting it on here. Absolutely has Boogie versus Wings as the first fight on this card of three.
Wow.
Wow, so they really are planning on doing it. I mean, dude, that's free money.
They're doing it. Yeah, it's $50,000 each, I think.
Wings
Should be
probably really wants that.
He does. He definitely
A lot of
does.
money,
It's May 13th is the date.
That's
Not too far off. Oh yeah, Sean, you might be on a cruise.
That's the first day of my cruise, man.
That's
So-
messed up.
Killer
the first day of my
Keemstar posted.
But hey, I'm
Wings-
buying Wi-Fi, so dude, I'll join. Dude,
Okay.
listen, we can hop on a live stream. I'll be
Yes.
on top deck tuning into Boogie versus.
Perfect.
So Wings. So it looks like Keemstar is the one putting this whole thing on.
Of course.
Killer Keemstar,
Fucking
That is
40
so
teenager.
funny.
the asshole of the industry, but quite a successful asshole.
True.
I mean, and like Keemstar and Wings go so far back.
They go
I mean,
back
the
like
drama
10,
is
12
so deep.
years.
I mean, it's so funny how this is where we're at now.
Isn't that funny? Because like Wings is so fucking old school.
He is.
Online.
He really is. I mean, old school YouTube.
Yeah, he's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so good. If you go to Wings WikiTube, aka his YouTube wiki, it says
WikiTube.
Jordy Jordan and then his birthday, better known online as Wings Redemption or Richard Samuel Jordan.
Oh no!
Because they call him Richard.
And he gets so
Because
mad.
he got so mad that we're calling him Richard that he showed his ID on stream. My name's not Richard. It's like literally, my name's not Rick.
Yeah, right.
He got so mad, so they got it on here. I'm reading through this. This is good stuff. He can be considered a pioneer in gaming commentary, which is true. If starting in 2010. Jordy has nowadays become a notorious trolling target online for his behavior and senseless sentiments on Twitch and YouTube, which is true. Wings is a very controversial guy. He says controversial. Like I think that's what's so good about it. I was watching an old Painkiller already last night, and there's this guy named Ask a Capper. And Ask a Capper has some sort of physical he's like physically retarded in some way. He may be mentally retarded as well, but he still games. Like he's found out a way to like game with like his fingers are kind of like this, but he somehow is able to game and edit and do all this creative stuff. And so on this episode, Wings was talking about some other guy who was, handicapped, and he was saying, oh, Ask a Capper is way better than that. Although, when's the last time you guys actually even watched Ask a Capper? And everybody's like, Wings, stop. And he's like, I mean, seriously, I'm just keeping it real. Nobody watches that guy. they're like, Wings, stop. And he's like, I mean, I just popped in there the other day. I was like, oh, here's Ask a Capper. This shit sucks. Click. They're like, Wings, why are you saying? Kyle literally goes, Wings, I don't know. He's my friend. I'm sorry. And I don't know why he says stuff like that.
Yeah, Wings has never once filtered anything that he said.
I don't think he has. I think maybe he has, but he learned how to do that when he turned 34 or 35. Like it's a skill most people learn early on in their lives.
Yeah, there's a lot of great content of Wings losing his cool and not filtering what he says.
Dude, I miss watching the OG Boogie videos, man.
Dude, those are
Oh
so
yeah,
good.
Super Meat Boy is just so classic.
Dude, those
Which reminds
are
me, Zach, how are we doing on Super Meat Boy?
Oh, I'm on the last stage, but it's really hard. The stage is really hard.
Did you ever beat that one boss that comes out of the ground and jumps around?
Can't remember if I beat him.
Then that might be what
I
you're
must
on.
have, because I was on the final stage.
Oh, so you made it to the one after that, and then you must have beaten. Oh, because you figured out how to do it. I remember.
Yeah, I must have beat him. I just don't remember actually doing it.
Oh man, some Super Meat Boy live would be so funny.
Oh, we
God,
should
I
do
love that.
Super Meat Boy on here next week
Yeah, that would be really funny.
with the whole commentary from you guys would be pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course. I'm
Just
the
so pissed.
The peanut
I'm a
gallery.
professional backseat gamer.
Yeah, Sean's kind of taken up the role of professional backseat gamer since we
And
started
nobody
playing
does it better,
Minecraft.
in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's like, when do you find the diamonds? It's when I'm in your pocket.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Just math. I mean, it's pretty easy math too.
Yeah, so we started a Minecraft server with pretty much, I mean, basically everyone from the podcast. Sean doesn't play, but he backseat games. So
Sean likes to
that's been
watch
pretty
and fall
hilarious.
asleep.
I mean, I consider it playing.
Sean
but-
likes to watch and tell me when he's going to be getting off, and
Yeah.
Zach gets so mad. So one of my favorite sentences from you the last couple of weeks, Zach. Like, so Zach will get pissy if you get on for like 20 minutes and then have to get off or something, or really if you have to get off. Period. He'll jokingly get pissy. And so I started warning him. I was like, hey, it's 10 o'clock. I gotta get off at like 12 because I have work tomorrow.
it
He's
is
like,
never 10 to 12.
Yeah, that's an exaggeration.
It is like 10:30.
It's more like-
I gotta get off in 10 minutes.
So that's the thing is, Sean, you end up staying longer, but it always starts with, I've only got like 45 minutes tonight, boys.
under promise, over deliver. It's a secret.
It's
So
not
yeah, what was the
working. It's
sentence
pissing
that
me
Zach
off.
said? Zach was like, didn't he say something like, all you ever talk about is when you're leaving?
Well, the sentence I really enjoyed was that he said, like, it doesn't matter what you do, Sean, you're just gonna piss me off. I was like, well, because I was like, what do you want me to do?
It doesn't matter. Yeah. No, yeah, that was good. I do like the gaming sessions though.
It has
bring
been
me-
fun being on the Minecraft server, and it's kind of funny because it's like now we've got the podcast going, and we've got we're playing Minecraft, we're all chatting. All of a sudden, the other night, Sean was actually dead asleep, which is another kind of funny story. But in our Discord, we had I mean, just in the last 2 days, we have had in this same Discord, me, Zach, Sean, and Dominic, right? The four guys that are typically on the podcast. But then we've also had my buddy from school, Trafton, another buddy from high school, Colin, and then another buddy from before that, Luke, right? So it's like all in the same Discord. It's like it's all kind of meshing together right now, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's important.
It's keeping up with people that you don't live near.
And it's so weird because, like, Double D's always talking about, whatever friends he had and how, like he used to see Scott Truss and would do fantasy football and stuff. And now it's just like he never even talks to him ever and never sees him. And it's like literally the last time I saw Luke Brantaver was the last time I saw Sean, basically. But
Yeah.
it feels like, I mean, that just seems impossible, right?
Yeah,
Right.
we
Because
had a moment.
constant-
We were like, what are you talking?
Yeah.
Like, it was like last time we saw each other in person was Thanksgiving or whatever it was.
Right, because
It
at the
wasn't
click of a
Thanksgiving.
button, we're in the same room together here.
Yeah.
And we're playing video games or whatever. It's like it is really a blessing to be able
we're super
to
lucky,
to
dude.
do what we do and keep up with each other and see each other this much.
Well,
Yeah,
and I'll
it's
tell you
really
guys
fun.
too. Like, I've super appreciated it because, I have a couple friends in Champaign, of course, but my work. Obviously, I'm leaving my work. I am by 5 years the youngest person in any workspace environment that I've been in the past year, right? And so, and about 60 or 70% of my friends from college left or graduated when I did. And I have a couple of friends who are going to graduate school. And for the listeners out there who don't know, I'm a townie in Champaign, Illinois. I graduated from the university and got a job in the area. And, I am not lonely. Right? Yeah. Hey, it's cool. It's cool. We're out here, okay? I would be probably intensely lonely. You know how many people have come in my apartment in the past 6 months? Are you ready
Well,
for
there's the cops. No.
you guys scared for a second. I have had exactly 3 visitors in this apartment in the last 4 months. Okay.
Are you related to any of them?
Two of them.
Oh, brutal question from the kid.
that's what I was getting to that. And I mean, part of the reason is that when I go see my friends on campus, I go to campus. They're not going to come to my little shitty one-person apartment. Yeah. but it's still kind of crazy, man. It's like, but I don't get lonely in here because I am constantly in chat rooms with you guys, like literally almost every day. I mean, it's crazy. Or my other high school friends too. I mean, it's just a total blessing. I can't imagine, like, I would be in a much different state mentally if I didn't have this type of thing going on every single night, damn near. So I appreciate it.
It's the same for me too. I mean, I currently going into medical school. I don't have a job. I'm just doing what I want. Disc golf tournaments, jet ski, whatever. But then for a lot of the day, right, like past dinner time, I'm like, Lexi's not here yet. It's just me. I watch, the family literally goes to bed at like 7:30 to 8 p.m. And then I'm just like alone all night. And so like talking to you, like when I go to bed and I haven't like chatted with you guys or played video games or something, I'm like, oh man, it kind of sucks. It's crazy how awesome it is.
Totally.
Yeah, we have a good time. We definitely do.
And we rotate video games.
Definitely gotta come see you guys at some point soon.
Yeah.
And obviously it'll be a lot easier when I don't have a gerb. But
there's a serious dearth of video games right now.
For the playing?
For like group playing.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, we're back on Minecraft, right?
Yeah, which tells you a lot, like,
about where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, 11-year-old game.
It's like they're not doing too bad in the solo realm. Obviously, with like God of War, Elden Ring, there's a new Jedi Survivor coming out. Like there's all these Resident Evil 4. I mean, there's more too. Like I'm not even thinking of all of them, but they're doing pretty well in the story-based games, which are what I tend to like. But like, if we're all gonna play something, it obviously can't be one of those. And so it's like, why is it so dry?
Yeah.
Sean, you were saying something about Doc's game, right? What's your plan?
I was about to say Doc's game is gonna make me rich, and I'm gonna play the crap out of that game. I decided, Zach, and I was telling Lucas this. I have never been an expert in any game. I've been extremely bad or average at every fucking video game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna devote. And you know what makes me mad is that this is the same.
This is Lego.
Lego. It sounds like Lego.
This is how you ended up puking butter.
Oh, I literally had a moment of deja vu with Lego, and I started this.
You're like, this is the one.
You're like literally, you've got that, World Series speech going that you're giving right now to yourself, about to head out of the tunnel into the dugout. And then you've got caught dead in your tracks. Like you realize, oh wait, I'm not on the team.
Okay, I might not be the best. I might not be the best dead drop player of all time, but I'll give it my all, and I'll enjoy it. How about that? Which I've never really done with a game. It looks fun. Because even the games I play a lot, like say Apex or even Overwatch right now, I play a pretty good amount of. It's like when I say I play a pretty good amount of it, I play like a couple hours a week, right? And it's like it feels like I'm playing the game by my standards, by like a video game, guru standard. Like I'm not doing shit. So
Sean's good typically for about an hour.
Hey, hour and a half.
I said typically. Okay? I said typically.
Better.
Sometimes it's 2 hours. Sometimes it's 40 minutes. I mean.
Yeah, I hear you. I do. I just like when I play Apex for like 2 hours, I just want to fucking like die.
Well, that's because it's Apex. It's like, God, this game's been out for so long.
4 years.
It is. I mean, we played it a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's just been rough out there.
By the way, guys.
Wow.
I mean, I've had it going. I've had it going like every day.
Montrose.
Tuscany candles.
Hit us up. We're big fans over at my house. Dami's not a big fan because he doesn't know how smelling works, apparently.
No, he literally can't smell things.
Like, is that like, are you guys not joking? Like, the guy.
No, I'm not kidding. So like, we're making, we're brewing our mead, right? And like, literally, probably 10 times, I've been like, "Oh yeah, smell that," and he looks at me like, you bitch. And I'm like,
It's like he's got a messed up sense of smell. Like,
yeah, no, he literally can't smell.
Wow.
And so here's my only thing is that it can't be fully gone, right? Because otherwise things would not taste good enough.
Right.
Like when you plug your nose, even things don't taste that good. I can eat a bunch of stuff that I don't like if I plug my nose.
Start
so it's
talking like Squidward.
right, start talking like Squidward. It's like there's
We
no
serve
way.
food here, sir.
I was gonna do it again, but I'm not. There's no way that he's fully. Maybe somehow it's like his brain doesn't sense it when it's the particles hitting its nose exactly from food, but when he's tasting it as well, it's still his brain still sends signals. Something like really
Is this a
convoluted
COVID
is going
issue,
on.
or is this a lifelong issue?
No, this is like this was not from COVID.
Okay.
This was like I don't know actually if it was his whole life, but I do know that he has had a lot of concussions. So you never know what's causing the problem.
Yeah, I would say if you had to give me one guess on somebody who's had a lot of concussions in their life, I would have guessed Dami. You know,
Yeah, he's been rode hard and hung up wet. And he's like 25.
Yeah, that guy.
Which reminds me, we all got to get our monsters for next time.
Okay.
Because
Got
I
it.
think I can get some. I haven't actually confirmed, but I think there's some near me. That website that Dami sent us was very helpful.
I'll do some digging.
The import.
I feel like he's overhyping it. There's no way it's like, oh my god, it's so much better.
I'm gonna get an import and I'm gonna get a regular one, and we're gonna,
Yeah.
I like regular monster.
I
might
love
even-
all Monster. If I'm being,
I might
honest,
even
but
put
I
'em
hardly
in-
drink them.
I might even put them in 2 cups. Have you guys watched me mix them up and shit? And I'll tell you which one's better.
But then how will you? Oh, then you try one out of the can to figure out which is which.
I close my eyes. You guys watch me, or maybe mark the. I don't know. There's got to be a way where you guys can see
Where
which
we
one.
can know which one is which, and Sean doesn't.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like if I
Oh, you could close your eyes. Yeah, that's
there's
tough.
something here. Like if I numbered the cups or something, and so I close my eyes, I number the cups, I switch them around a whole bunch. Okay.
And we can only
then-
see the numbers.
Yeah, and then while my eyes are closed, I have you guys direct me to turn the numbers to face you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there you go. That
We're
works.
getting updates here that Luke is just now getting off work, 13 hours straight with no break.
Holy cow.
Looks like he was. That sounds illegal. Looks
Yeah,
like,
wait, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Looks like he was supposed to get off at 9.
Also, I just realized I'm really stupid. Like I could just keep my eyes closed the whole time
And then drink it.
and then drink it and then look at
As long as we see the number.
You need.
You
You know what you
technically
need
need
is
to.
a spinning plate, and just put 2 cups on there and close your eyes and spin 'em. The microwave, yes.
Add 30
Maybe
seconds.
you could put them in some.
It might be fine for
Here's
30
what
seconds,
you do.
right? I mean, the
Here's
thing
what you
spins.
do, Sean.
Oh.
You get the
Is that
monster. You put just the aluminum cans in the microwave, and you let it spin them,
And then you grab one.
and then you just go ahead and drink up, buddy.
Microwaves might be the most underrated invention of all time.
Yeah, and I defy you to tell me how they work.
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Dude, yeah, it is insane. Like we literally we figured out that if you fire literal microwaves, right, into things, they don't hit most of the thing, right? But they just hit the water molecules, the moisture that's in them, and they make them they give them energy, right? Now these water molecules have energy, and when things have more energy, it means that they're getting hotter, right? And so we're literally just firing a specific type of wave into the food, and it's heating up the water that's in the food. Like what?
Yeah,
Don't
it's
get
crazy.
it. Don't get it at all.
Like how are we shooting microwaves out? I don't even.
Dude, there's got to be a cure to cancer. I don't even care. There ain't no way there's not one.
Yeah, and it's the same deal where it's like when you pick up radio signal, they're literally just broadcasting a wave through the air physically out to your car. and it's hitting you. We're getting hit by them all the time when we're walking around. We're just getting hit by radio waves. A lot of weird stuff going on out there. That's like super. That's like super old technology, like really old technology.
Yeah, like when did microwaves get invented? Somebody tell me that.
650s.
You know,
Like a long time ago.
1600s. I don't know.
Back in
1600s.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Microwave invention. I feel like I'm about to do a Ronnie Radke.
It was 1945. I got it.
Okay. Still pretty crazy.
Invented by a self-taught engineer named Percy Spencer, who was leading a radar project for the defense giant Raytheon.
Raytheon. That's where Bailey works. It's the fucking.
No way.
Dude, we shit on Bailey all the time because he is like one of the. He's not a. He's very attuned with his morals, I guess you could say. Like he believes very strongly in things that do good for society, and he's working for Raytheon, who literally makes fucking missiles and shit.
Yeah, I mean that's who Bill works for technically.
Yeah, exactly.
Collins is owned, or is this a subsidiary?
He's in the.
It's one of those military industrial complex companies, like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin.
Oh yeah.
Well, he was working for him when he invented the microwave.
Well, you know what? Thank goodness for Raytheon and for that guy.
That's their best invention.
Might be.
It definitely
What if they
is.
invented something else really cool?
Like they couldn't have that competes with it. I think it's a top 5 invention of all time.
It is really good, but man, surely we can think.
We've invented a lot of things.
Like what's that good?
I mean, obviously first of all, you got to invent electricity to make the microwave work.
Electricity. Because nobody invented it.
Yeah, you have to invent the
means to harness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's like saying, well, first you have to invent water.
That's true.
Yeah, but we didn't have to figure out how to digest it. Our body was made to do that. So it's like we had to figure out how to take electricity and we had to figure out the physics.
The thing is, I don't think you can start at the beginning and do a fair assessment here, because it's like, you know what I think is a great invention? A computer.
That's not so. Top 10 greatest inventions of all time. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
According to whom?
I don't know, the first website I
Yeah,
saw.
but what's the site? I'm just curious. Like, I'm just curious.
It'll just give us some ideas.
This one's Live Science or Live Science. Live.
Let's get into it.
Probably Live Science.
Break it down for us.
Actually, I don't know if these are in order. Let me try to find what's in order, because this one's got, Okay, top 20 greatest inventions of all time. Ready?
Yeah.
Hit me.
Number 1.
A brownie.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Number 1
butter.
is fire.
Fire.
It can be argued that fire was discovered rather than invented.
It was discovered.
Yeah.
Probably discovered. Yeah.
That for it to be invented, in my opinion, would mean that the first ever fire was created by humans.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely. It was discovered for sure.
All right, I got a better list here. All right, ready?
Yeah, don't hit me with that caveman bullshit.
Yeah, that's why you saw me. I hesitated at least.
The hot dog is a really good invention.
All right, number 1, the electric furnace. It was the only means for commercially. Is
that fancy talk for an oven? Or is that a different thing we're talking about? Because I don't know what that is.
I think it's referring to essentially heat.
The ability to heat our homes.
Heating indoor, indoor heat.
Gotcha.
Which is,
see, that's old person talk.
AC in general, the ability to condition the air within a home.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go with the tampon.
Yeah, and it's up there. It's gotta be.
Thank goodness.
It's literally
for
gonna be on the top. I get you. Like, it's funny. You guys are laughing. I bet you it's on top 5.
Well, I don't. I mean, it's like there have been versions of that though, just kind of to, it's like is a shoe a good invention? I mean, there's always been stuff that
The tampon gave women the ability to work.
A shoe was probably the first thing that I would have done.
They really wouldn't hire women because they can only work 3 weeks out of the month.
Is that a fact? I didn't know that like they didn't actually have like a better solution.
Yeah, no, there's just like look up the importance of the tampon in women's rights.
Man, that's crazy. I really that's good to know because I just assumed there was always something, whether it was like a
right.
Like
I'm sure they had like whatever cloth, they had certain pants that they would probably wear.
Wow, I guess like a tampon's like functionality is a little bit complex in terms of like
it's an invention. There's a thing there. The string.
Yeah, it's definitely an invention.
The string.
It's got parts to it.
Number 2 is the steam turbine, because it also led to powering train, ships, all that type of stuff.
That shit sucks.
Which a lot of following inventions wouldn't have been possible without those types of parts from overseas and whatnot. The gas powered automobile.
Car's a good one.
Yeah, the airplane. But I mean, that is fucking crazy. Like, what if we didn't have airplanes?
Car and airplane I'll take, but I think we should combine them if we're doing a top 5 list. We'll go we'll do gas powered vehicles.
Sure. The moving picture, because entertainment deserves to be on this list, blah blah blah. Wireless, basically telephones. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the ability to, like what we were talking about.
The iPhone.
Right, yeah. Is it the iPhone that we go with, or is it just like
it started with like telegraph, like wireless telegraphy?
Yeah.
So
that's the thing is like the iPhone, my iPhone 14 is so different from the telephone that was first invented. It's like, are they even close enough to be considered the same invention?
It's tough because like without the first one, would we have the iPhone? So
I think we should go from our current day.
Well, it's like if do you consider the wheel, like the original wheel, to be the reason that we have wheels on our cars? Like, I don't know.
No, I would start from today.
From today.
Yeah, an invention, whatever you have in your possession today, the newest thing is what we could put on our list.
Ooh,
modern best list. I don't care what it's come from, the significance of where it's came from. What's the best things today?
Okay, ready? I got a couple that come to mind. Optical lens.
It's good.
So, I think of how many people couldn't fucking see right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is a fantastic invention.
Daily contacts.
The computer, I would say. Any computer. Heat and air for sure. Heat and AC. Telephone, unless you want to call that a computer. It's basically a handheld computer at this point, right? I mean,
it is. It's got 6 gigs of video RAM. It's got more video RAM than some laptops.
What about like Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Or like cellular?
Yeah, definitely the wireless internet connections.
Mm-hmm.
The internet.
The internet.
How could we not? Yeah. How could we not think of that? Although I would argue maybe that's the worst invention.
Yeah, it depends on your frame of thinking.
It's done a lot of harm, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to get into the thoughts that could spur off of that. I mean, you could say it's done so many good things and so many bad things. I don't know how you weigh all those at once.
Well, regardless, it's not clear that we know how to handle it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like, as people, we have no idea what the hell we're doing with the internet, and it's not been significant long enough for there to be any good studies about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been literally been around it's been around since the 60s, but it hasn't been popular until like 05, 04, like 03, like 20 years. max.
Yeah, like what the internet used to be. I didn't even realize, how it's like it used to be just a very, very limited in what it could do, like what the internet was when they first, invented it. It's just like the very limit. It's like you could go onto like 4 websites and you could, go into these chat rooms. That was like all you could do. It was like super. They were like, yeah, look, we can like go into chat rooms, and that was it. And now it's like, it's almost like a Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park situation where it's like you were so consumed thinking about whether or not you could do it, you didn't think about whether or not you should. It's like all of a sudden it's just exploded into all of this crazy stuff, which has obviously been, a lot of it is super cool. Like all the things we've looked up tonight, like tons of things we've looked up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that we're sitting here talking.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is awesome.
And then you got skyrocketing rates of young person depression, suicide. You got people in financial ruins, young people in particular. It's like it's not clear that people know how to use the internet appropriately.
It is dangerous. And it's tough because it's like it's also really dangerous to get in a car and drive a lot. It's like so many accidents, and yet the ability to go different places and see so many different things is so fantastic, and we can travel such far distances so easily now that it's like, yeah, cars are totally worth it, but it's also like we want to make it as safe as possible, right? And we don't really have the length of time with the internet. We don't have the, like you said, the studies. We don't have enough information to make it as safe as possible right now. Yeah. And I think for a lot of young girls, especially, social media is just so bad.
Technology advanced so fast that your monkey brain didn't have time to catch up with it.
Right.
The human monkey brain has not had enough years to evolve to even understand social media. So it's using the same systems that it used to use to decide whether or not it should run away or fight a bear, to determine complex issues like how you feel about a photo that somebody else posted. It's using that same simple system to try and figure that out. And even driving, like your monkey brain isn't designed to understand, the dangers of a car. The only thing when you're talking about getting in a car and driving, your brain's not sending signals like be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful all the time, because it's never understood a car. I mean, realistically, it doesn't have enough time to even understand a car. So
yeah, it is interesting. It's like, why do I know that I'm going 60 miles an hour right now, and that if I were to lose focus for, too long, my life is literally over, and yet my brain thinks it's okay to get effing sleepy right now? Like, why does my brain think that it's fine for me to start getting sleepy while I'm driving this car?
In reality, driving a car is a very comfortable situation because
right, yeah, you're like
99% of the time, it's totally safe and fine. But so it's like, imagine if you're, in the monkey brain, and you're just like chilling at home basically, but you just happen to be in 2023 going, 60 miles an hour on the highway in the car.
Right. But also, if you're constantly freaking out while driving, it's not, like if you're always like high strung and
that's the anxiety. That's the anxiety and obsessive compulsive side of things. Your brain's constantly like, hey, you should be worried about this. It's like, why aren't you listening? And then one of the things that I'm learning about OCD is the best way, and this is the most popular treatment of it, is to have a time where you sort of sit down with those intrusive thoughts, and you agree with them. You just unashamedly agree with them. If your obsessive compulsive disorder is saying, hey, you're a bad person for this thing that you did, you go, oh yeah, I am. Oh, I'm a really bad person because of that. You're absolutely right. And your brain's like, what? And it's like, that's not normal that he's agreeing with me. Send it again. Send that signal again. And then he's agreeing with us again. Why does he keep agreeing with us about this? And eventually your brain learns, well, if he's agreeing with us about it this much, it must not be that big of a problem. Because if we're warning him about this, and if he's not worried about it, then that means we must be wrong. So that's the most effective treatment for obsessive compulsive disorder is that kind of therapy.
That's really interesting. And that's even, I'm somebody who I feel like this kind of bleeds over to an interesting way. Like I obviously don't have OCD or anything, but in my life, I've had a very good life, and I'm thankful for my life, and I haven't had many moments of pain or anything. But any moments of pain that I have had, I just do everything to combat it and not think about it and push it away and stone face it, keep my cool, level-headedness, all that stuff, right? And there have been like a couple times where I just had to let it go and just let it out. And man, after those couple times, it felt damn good. Like it felt really, really
right. Because
like,
when you push it back in your brain, your brain's going, "Oh, he doesn't even want to think about it. It's so bad." It's so bad what we're trying to show him. He doesn't even want to consider it. It must be worse than we thought. Send it again. Send it again. Send it again. And so that's your monkey brain saying, hey, watch out for this. We keep trying to show you this and you keep ignoring it. You're going to fall into this trap if we don't keep really showing you this. So yeah, they say the best thing to do is to, one thing, you can, this is the therapeutic thing is, I'm not going to argue with you, OCD, about this. We're not going to argue about this. I'm correct. You're always wrong. I'm in charge here. You're wrong. So we're not going to argue about this. I'm not going to say, you're not going to tell me, oh, look out for this, look out for this. And I'm not going to say, no, I don't need to look out for that, because that's engaging with it. And it's going to learn, it's going to continue to send signals of things that you don't actually need to be concerned about.
Okay,
so the best thing you could possibly do is literally agree with it and say, yeah, you might be right. Don't know, but not knowing is okay. So you constantly send that. If you constantly are able to send back, it's very hard to do. It's an extremely difficult thing to do for somebody with obsessive compulsive disorder, because truly they believe in their hearts when that obsession is yelling at them that it could be true, no matter how ridiculous it is. Like they truly believe that it could be true. And that's like really scary. So like, but if you are able to sort of sit in the moment and realize you're like, I don't even believe what this OCD is saying. I don't even believe it, like myself. I don't believe what this guy's telling me. So why am I even arguing with him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but the night that me and Sophie broke up, I immediately went and played video games with you guys for like 3 hours, right? And then the next day I had a crazy busy day at work, and the next day I had another crazy busy day at work. I didn't think about that shit for like 3 or 4 days. Obviously, like I felt a little sad, but like I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And it's not like we lived with each other or anything, but like I didn't think about it at all. I didn't talk to you guys about it. I mean, really, I haven't talked to you guys about it too much, but and that went on like that for like a little while, and it was fine for a little while. And then all of a sudden I realized like it wasn't just that the feeling of like what I imagined depression feels like started to creep in, and it's like everything kind of felt bleak and dull, and like even though I kept pushing everything out of my brain and not trying to think about it, got rid of all the reminders, all that stuff, it like still didn't feel like my life anymore. And then I had like one weekend where I just like lost my mind, basically. Like I was like, just feeling every emotion. I didn't move from bed basically for 2 days, and I just lost my shit. I even recorded a video of me talking about it, like, because I didn't want to talk to anybody else about it. I don't like to burden people with my issues. I don't know if that's toxic or not, but I just don't like to.
A little bit.
They're like serious issues like that. I like burdening you guys with my silly issues, but but with my actual life issues, I don't like to talk about it. So I just talked to the camera for like 40 minutes, and I have not since that felt like anywhere near how I felt before that either. Like, I mean, I felt significantly better. And I just never expected that. And I always just thought like that I could just deal with whatever comes at me. And like, that was one where I couldn't, and I needed to let it out and like, accept and like agree with the sadness essentially. And then, that works. So that was interesting to say that.
Mourning the loss of a life you thought you were going to have. Like that's right. That's what I've always heard people say when they talk about a long-term relationship breakup is you're literally burying, metaphorically, you're putting into the earth a life you thought you were going to have. And so you don't know what your life is anymore. So there's a bit of a crisis because you don't like uncertainty in that way. But yeah, it can be very helpful. I would say, yeah, it is probably a bad thing that you feel like you can't burden anybody. And I think even using the word burden, burdening somebody with deep emotional problems you're having is a strain. It's a very common masculine way to look at problems, but I think it's unhelpful and can be dangerous, not for you, but for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's definitely unhelpful. I agree. Because I've like, my whole life basically, like, I get that same feeling where like something went really wrong, and I pretty much immediately knew I need to go tell someone and I need to go talk about it. And then almost right away, once you talk about it, you feel better. So it's like if something goes like horribly wrong, it's like I'm just having like a horrible, I don't know, conversation, or like something didn't go the way I thought, and I can't stop thinking about it. Like, oh, I did the wrong something. I had a horrible interaction with this person and they got really mad and whatever. And I instantly would go share it with like my mom or my dad or something, like, and that always worked. Like going and telling someone how you're feeling and talking it out. As soon as you say it out loud and recognize and acknowledge like what happened and what you're feeling about it, it becomes a little bit less like it's inside of you. It becomes a little bit more like, okay, now it's like, it's out there in the open. I've talked about it, and it's a lot less like eating away at you. And it kind of reminds me of like what Zach was saying about with like saying yes to the OCD or whatever, and like agreeing with it. It reminds me of like when you have a song stuck in your head and they say you need to go listen to the end of it, and like you'd think that'd be weird, but you go listen to the song and you hear the whole thing, and then once you know the song, your brain is no longer like, oh, now I can stop trying to piece this together. It's like now I've heard the end, and it's
trying to solve a puzzle. And that's the catch-22 with OCD, is the fears are about things that you can never know. It can never finish the puzzle it's trying to solve. So there's no point
it's trying to finish the song, but there's no end.
There's no point in trying to solve a puzzle you can't finish, especially if it's bringing you a lot of pain. So like, Patty Pimblett said, he had his buddy kill him. His buddy killed himself, right? And he said, I'd rather you be here crying on my shoulder than me going to your funeral tomorrow. And he's like, but guys don't want to talk. Women talk all the time. Guys don't want to talk about it. It's like, I don't want to burden somebody with this. I don't want to, but it's sometimes a dangerous mentality. And then what's funny, Lucas, is like going and telling somebody about something that's bothering you, you have to be careful with OCD, because confessing in OCD is occasionally reassurance seeking, and it's a compulsion. It's like, oh, I'm worried about
you're
something.
Constantly wanting someone to be like, yeah, that's worrisome.
Yeah. So it's almost like, so now every time your brain that's not functioning properly tries to warn you about something that you don't need to worry about, you feel the need to go tell somebody about it. So it's like you'll be talking, some people will be talking to somebody 4 times a day about something that their brain is trying to warn them about, and it's like, there you are, you're engaging with it. Like that OCD is the boss again, because you're doing exactly what it's telling you to do. It's just interesting. But you're right, Lucas. Not to say that you're wrong at all about talking to people being helpful. I was just saying, in that one case, it can be like a catch-22.
Yeah, if you find yourself talking about it more than once, maybe you've got something weird.
Or talking about something that's that happened over 18 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, very crazy. I mean, I'll tell you guys, like, the reason that I say that, like, I genuinely believed when that happened that I could deal with it myself, and I managed to. It took me longer than it should have, and a lot longer than it would have if I had talked to people about it. But as somebody who lives, I don't really have a relationship with my parents, I don't feel super comfortable talking to them about any of this really. I live by myself. I have used you guys and used my friends in history, just because I've never really had any problems with anything, like, seriously, as escapism, as whatever bullshit I'm dealing with during the day. I hang out with you guys at night, don't think about it, feels good, I'm happy. and then I can worry about the other shit later. Like until right now, I wasn't thinking about the fact that I have to wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m. and drive to Mount Vernon and work in Mount Vernon. Yeah,
Mount Vernon, baby.
Ridiculous. But instead of a camera, I'm setting up one of those fucking cameras tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Now, what else are you doing there?
Some other stuff,
Like they're kind of filling in after the cameras. They're like, get the cameras.
The cameras are number one.
We'll find you some shit to do.
Too, yeah. But anyways, but
you should literally install the camera and then be like, all right, I'm out.
you guys. I know the password. But yeah, I mean, I have in my life used you guys as escapism, and I thought that was the way to go about it this time too. Like even when I've had small things like my parents, my dog passing away, stuff like that, like I just go play video games and forget about it, and then just slowly it goes away. But this was one that it doesn't just slowly go away. It wasn't the same thing as
a
like
nagging sort.
Yeah, it wasn't the same thing, and it took me longer than it should have, but I was able to unpack it by myself. But there are people who are for sure trying to have the same mindset as me, but couldn't unpack it by themselves, like how I was able to roughly.
Yeah.
And I definitely see what you're saying about that being dangerous. And it didn't feel like it was coming from a masculine point of view. Like when I was doing it, I wasn't like, I don't need to talk to you.
Of course not.
But, yeah. And my thought is just like, I don't want to have to, make my friends worry about
it's
me.
Also awkward.
Yeah, it's awkward
to bring up
sure.
to other to it's weird. You'd almost rather tell a stranger about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and on the first night, like when I get on video games, the guy's like, hey, like, man, we broke up. Like, you guys aren't going to be like, oh my God, what happened? You're gonna be like, oh man, that sucks. Okay, let's play games. Like, let's forget about it tonight. And then like, if you want to about it later, so, it worked out, but I can totally see what you're saying. It's just interesting how that ties in with that, with sometimes you have to agree with that darkness or that pain, and you have to just experience it, and then you get over it eventually, in theory. So yeah.
Yes, it's particularly helpful when your problems are in your head to do that. Fictional in a sense. Not that they're not real problems that you're experiencing. There won't be any physical repercussions of them. Right.
That was almost the worst part about this thing too, is like in terms of like physical like repercussions, there were almost none, right, in my life. Like I was in a fortunate situation where like I didn't live with her, like, the repercussions were we didn't talk during the day. Like I was, and in terms of like, there's no moving out. I cannot imagine breaking up with somebody and that you lived with them. Your life is intertwined with them. You work with them.
Pack your shit.
Yeah. Like, could you, I mean, I cannot even, finding an apartment or like just completely uprooting your entire life.
I'm just packing stuff up.
It's like, so everything about my life was the same. And that's why I felt like I could deal with it myself too, is like, it's a me battle. Like I'm dealing with it in my head. Yeah. I don't have anything else externally affecting it. I can deal with it. I can do it. And, I would say I was barely able to, but there are definitely people who can't and should be able to talk to people about it. So
it's also like
diaries.
Sometimes people are completely unhelpful, or there is no help, like for some stuff. Like it's like sometimes like what am I gonna say? Like what the hell am I gonna tell you that I can't fix this for you? Like that particular problem. Like the only thing that I can say to you is completely unhelpful, and it's that time really does heal all wounds. But that's completely unhelpful to somebody that's in the middle of, in their head, what's going on is literal hell. It's just constant, horrific, I guess a lack of all happiness or even contentment. It's like a constant state of pain, and all I can tell you is, well, you're just gonna have to wait it out. Like,
well, and in fairness, like what I should have done was utilize you guys as essentially like, hey guys, let me talk to you for 30 minutes about everything that happened, and I'm gonna just let it out and just be totally real with you, and then I'm gonna feel better after it. Like that would have been helpful for me. You guys wouldn't have had to offer any input, anything. And
Yeah.
eventually that's what I did with myself. Like I recorded a video of myself talking as if I was talking to somebody else. Like that's
Diary.
what
It's a
well, yeah, and I
video
did voice
diary, yeah.
diaries from I have voice diaries from the night of, like literally like for like a couple weeks after, like every week I would just talk when I was, of course they're all like really fucking sad because it was always when I was having like a breakdown about it. But the one that I did was I set up a camera, looked at the camera, and talked for 40 minutes and just lost my mind and basically told the story of what happened from start to finish with her. And it was devastating and terrible, and I felt terrible for a full day. But that's the day that I started the diet, and that's the day that I started like feeling a lot better about myself. That was really the day that started it. Was the day after the video.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens.
Yeah.
It's like you take it from your head and you like put an actual physical thing out of your head and into the world.
Yeah, and it's like I watched it back like the next day, and it's like just the fact that that exists and that it was like, okay, like that this is a thing that is like that actually happened. It's not just in my mind. And I mean, that's another thing was like the thing with us not living together. Like it's not in my head. It's not fake. Like this is a thing that happened. I'm looking at myself, talking about it and crying about it. And, now it's time to move on and get over it.
Mhm.
In theory that, yes, you couldn't have offered input, but if I had said like, can you guys just like listen to me for 30 minutes, that's what I should have done.
Yeah, it's like you don't need much from other people. You just need to let it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. Well, fellas, we're in wild card territory.
We definitely are.
What's the clock at?
We're at 150.
I've been fighting back yawns and stuff.
Yeah, I might be.
I mean, 150, that ain't 2 hours.
It's not. It's so
What
true.
have the activities changed at all? Let's see. No, it's still putt party and something called Gartic phone. Oh, it looks like you draw stuff.
All right, pull it up. I got one Gartic phone in me after that deep ass conversation.
Zach, you gonna open it?
What
It's
is
gonna
it?
ruin
I'm
our
sorry.
cameras, isn't it?
It's okay.
Gartic phone.
Join activity.
The people know how sexy we are.
The people
Okay.
know how this works. Our gaming segments.
Oh,
Write
God.
and draw alternately until you reach the last turn.
Got it.
You're gonna receive
Oh,
a
God.
bizarre sentence to draw.
Oh God. Okay, it's counting down.
Oh.
Oh, I
We
have
have
to
to
read
figure out a sentence. All right.
I don't want to be like gross. I want to be like goofy. I have to write like 3 sentences here. Fuck.
How do you spell octopus?
Octo, P-U-S.
Okay, it says 1 out of 3. I mean, do I need to make 3 or just this one? I don't know. Oh, it's us 3. Got it. Heard.
I got a good one. Let me see what this looks like on the stream. Okay,
This is going really poorly. What do I write?
Hurry up, guys.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh no, dude, I did terrible.
Okay, what do we got here?
Oh God.
God,
this is really
gonna be
tough.
hard.
Don't worry, guys. I'm a graphic designer. Hope you like my stick figures.
Shit.
You guys better get this if you're guessing. I'm gonna be mad. There we go.
Mine's really hard, you guys, and I'm blowing it over here with the drawing.
Mine was shockingly easy. I don't know if it's because I
I didn't know they were supposed to be hard.
Well, I only finished one, so you might have gotten a random computer prompt.
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, I got a rando.
Oh, Sean, you got a random computer prompt.
Has to be. It's like super easy.
This is so bad. Oh my god, it's bad, you guys.
I can't wait to see it. What the hell?
God. What the fuck?
It's Peter Griffin.
Octopussy? It's got to be Octopussy.
All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see.
What is that?
Wait, but what is going on here? Lucas, did you draw this fucking octopus?
Shut up, dude. He's like, I think I nailed yours.
Like, I don't know. Manual, voiceover off, start.
What is going on? Oh.
What's the random prompt? Oh, here we go.
Crotch. That's cheating, I feel like. I mean, I like
shouldn't have
crotch.
written. I don't know how to make a crotch of an octopus.
It's got several. All right. Octopussy is what he guessed. Okay.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess
What
it was-
random did it? Oh, that's what it gave
That was
me.
my random.
Hug.
That's whack. That's nice.
I
That's a
guess.
good hug. There's a heart. Look
I
at their
guess
faces though. There's
Two
noses.
people in love.
I tried to curl the tips of the arms, but you know.
This is my favorite. Stinky Peter Griffin on a Ferris wheel.
Yo, hold on.
And I do a stinky Ferris wheel on Peter Griffin.
Yo, look what I wrote.
Oh, what?
That's pretty good, dude.
Look at the stinky Ferris.
That's insane.
I can't believe you got the word stinky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stinky's good. I
and,
think
I
we
mean-
got one more round of that, and then we'll call it a show.
All right.
Dude, that was wow, that was funny.
That was good. I liked that. All right. Not a lot of adjectives, fellas.
No adjectives?
Well, not just keep it easy on the adjective. No, just fucking put whatever you want.
Okay, I got a good one.
I wrote one that's not bad. This is a pretty good game,
really?
although I wish there was a way to win. So, like,
Well, yeah, I mean, dude. Man, my design skills are just garbage. Eh. I got an idea though.
Oh God, this is horrible. We need the back. How do I erase?
this is tough.
Start over.
I hope you guys get this. Because it's really bad. Oh, man.
This is tough right here. Oh boy.
Okay. It's perfect.
Is it perfect?
Oh, it's well done.
Okay, mine's not bad.
Mine's pretty bad.
I'm gonna be really sad if you guys don't get mine.
Okay. That's a lot of pressure.
I know, but I feel really confident.
I feel like Zach got mine, and I feel like it's gonna be funny.
Oh god.
What?
Oh god.
Like what?
I already got mine.
I have no idea.
Okay, I put something in.
Ooh, I am not an artist.
I feel like mine was pretty solid.
Yeah, hurry up, Sean.
Come on.
Mine's getting passed around.
All right,
no
here we go.
idea.
All right, let's see.
Let's have a look.
Okay, that's really weird that both of you guys used Rick.
Right?
Or
I know, isn't that funny that we both did Rick?
That is super weird.
Rick's
Go.
just playing guitar. Yep, that's Hondo.
Well done.
Okay, nice work.
Thank you.
Here's mine.
A juicy butt. He's not my name. And I drew, of course.
That is not what I like. What? Like, there's nothing juicy about the butt.
Wank that banana.
I didn't know how to draw a butt.
It looks like a person wanking, like facing away from the camera.
Yeah, that was a rough drawing right there. What was this one? Oh yeah, this was me. This was some decent artistry. That's not so bad.
And I said,
You can say, yeah.
Let's go.
You should have drawn a disco
A
ball.
disco ball, but I still don't think he would have put disco.
Yeah, you're probably right.
all right,
Well
guys.
done, boys. Hey, that was pretty good.
Hey, that was much better right there.
All right, let's all leave the activity.
Okay. Oh, my light just went out because it's 1 o'clock.
It's good. All right.
We made it 2 hours then?
That we made it 2 hours. That's the No Means No podcast, episode 5. Of course, you know, Jonathan, Lucas over here. That was a good one. We missed Dami, but he'll be back next week.
Yep.
And we're excited about that. So thanks for watching. Have a great
See ya.
night.
Wild card.